gotta ask, what is the personal philosophy that all of us, here you are at a point in time, you came together last year, you're here too. What is it, maybe you can each speak about why you're doing what you're doing. What is the personal philosophy?
Linda before.
I mean, it's self-revealing. It's a highly personalized company, and you're doing it for very deeply held reasons, I'm sure.
Yes, and it's really the double side of 23andMe. We think through bringing people to their genetic information, it's a benefit for them at a personal level, but on the back end of what we want to do, we really are very interested in the research side, and the mission of the company is that the more we grow the community, which makes us a successful company, the more we can benefit the research world by helping to do these genetic correlations and find what are some of these risk profiles that will aid in diagnostics and finding targets for drug discovery. And that was really the goal of the company. We want to change healthcare. We want to make medicine more personalized, and the only way we can do that is to get genetics into the hands of many, many people across the globe of all different ethnic backgrounds.
I think the mission of our company is to treat more as possible the rare diseases, 2,000 to 7,000. I hope before that I died, and I hope really in a late stage that 100, 200, I don't know, of these diseases are treated thanks to work from the scientific community. My personal goal is to change really the medicine and to make it a democratic and personalized medicine, and it's exactly the philosophy of 23andMe. The future is in the personalized medicine. It's the only way to save money for the healthcare too, because this is another problem in the today's situation, that you need to cut all the budget. You have not to cut the research and the discovery. You have to cut the stupid expensive. And I think the diagnostic tools is the only investment you can do to save a lot of billion in the healthcare system. Because before you can diagnostic the diseases, if you have a child 1 month and you know that maybe it can be afflicted for one of these rare diseases, you can cure immediately, and it will be more easy, more good for the patient and cheaper for the healthcare system. We see in our situation some patients, they arrive in a very terrible condition. After 3 years, they are sick. After they visit maybe 10 MD, and it's too late. And for the healthcare system, it's very expensive. So it's very bad for the patient, very bad for the family, and very bad for the health system. I think this combination outside of our personal interest, it is Mondobiotech and 23andMe. I think the only way it's alliance like 23 and Mondo. You need diagnostic and after to cure. It's the only way for the future.
I have a very provocative answer to this question from the scientific point of view. Until now, you had a doctor who is cool, who is very good, sort of artist. And I quote now Linda when we discussed before, I believe that this is the beginning, maybe a beginning of a sort of scientific medicine, not artistic medicine. So we would like to put some even more on solid ground what is medicine, on a personalized level.
That is the essential and probably irrefutable information.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
There's no debate about genomic information.
Right. And, and Fabio brings up such a good point that the whole idea of preventing diseases from getting worse, if there's some way to catch things earlier, and that's where I think we're very aligned with the patient and not so much with a drug company that, is very interested in selling drugs to people. It's more about how do we keep them healthy rather than let them advance to a point where they're going to, it's too late. And then, then that's where the cost to the system. And so being here at the World Economic Forum in 2009, when everybody's worried about the economy, everyone's worried about their company surviving these times, this is our opportunity to innovate and do really new things and think about things in a new way from a new angle. We can't keep repeating the same mistakes we've been making over and over again, because we're now caught in this position where companies are going out of business or laying people off, and we have to look to ways to lower the cost. So we're very interested here this week to talk to companies that are self-insured, and they want to try to lower their healthcare costs. And so as a company, we think we can bring a message to them of here's a way to prevent disease. And then certainly if people have rare diseases, this is going to help them, because they're not going to have to go to 10 doctor visits before it's figured out what is wrong with them. And then the earlier the intervention we can start, the better it will be for them.
That is a theme here, though, renewing the economy through science and technology, because financial services has already proven itself to be a zero-sum game.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really no real wealth creation or value, as much value creation, but you're creating new knowledge, new solutions, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it's a very exciting time for healthcare, for biotech, because there's real value here.
Mm-hmm.
This is not vaporware, this is going forward, it's very, very essential work and very noble work. So I think it's kind of a great time, because you don't want to waste a good crisis.
No,
I mean, we're in a
absolutely.
crisis now. And you're not waiting, I mean, you're going to be able to come up with something in this time of economic dislocation that's very constructive.
It focuses people in the right way,
To the
because
basics.
we can't have any more fluff. You know, we have to get down to the basics, and we have to innovate on top of that. So we look to that as an opportunity rather than as, coming into this being very pessimistic. I think we're all
Yeah, absolutely.
true optimists.
Yeah, I think you're clearly, the cover of Wired magazine, the big debate. Should we really be spending, how much money should we spend on cure? Shouldn't we be spending more on really, really, really early detection? And I gotta believe that there's no earlier detection in what you're doing.
Exactly.
What are your thoughts about that?
And I think one joint point that we have with 23andMe, our goal, our focus is the patient. Our company works just for the patient. After, maybe, of course, our investors have to be happy too, and unfortunately they are happy because the company grow. If you reach the patient, at the end of the day, you create value.
Mm-hmm.
And today, unfortunately, we see when we have a meeting with all the company, the first slide is share value.
Mm-hmm.
If you see all the presentation, you go on all the conferences of the world. First value, mission, to be the world company in the world. Second value, boom, I create value. And the share point of view. And what I like very much from Linda and Anna, they don't look at the share value, they look to the patient or to the person. And the effect, it will be they increase very high the share value, of course, because if the company work well, the value will be well too. And we are sure in this year that you can generate and create value without to be in a financial way.
And also to come back, how early you would start diagnosing, for example. I mean, don't ask me, I'm a biologist, I'm a molecular biologist. I would like to know everything about the molecular composition of myself. Huh? The earlier, the better. So yes, I mean, it's actually something which actually the society has to decide what is the right point. But I believe that if you use it in the right way, it's an absolutely gorgeous starting point actually to cut the costs later on.